Hi there, and welcome back to myself playing Disco Elysium. It's a very intriguing game. At the moment, we're talking with Joyce Smithia, and she's filling in some blanks for old drunk face there. So let's go with it. What time are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. What's the big time?
The revolution.
What is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intra-species warfare.
And the apes, were they evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
Okay, neutral.
On the other hand,
She turns her north to the bombed out buildings lining the waterfront. Who got shot in the head?
those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
That's a tragedy.
Yes. The Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it.
I had a deluge too. My head. Point to your little head.
Yes. An acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism. Exacerbated means made worse.
Anyone else gets shot in the head on the opposite side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral
The
rights?
liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals you mean?
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How did the liberals win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intel, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
And technically, practicality for a moment, there was hope.
A devout man of the center. Hard to come by. It's good to have someone who takes a moderate approach to head shooting. In your line of work, I mean.
When was this kerfuffle?
Turn of the century revolution. Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of God, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
What did this Tazar do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
Wow, really?
Of course not. It was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
It was a funny time in history. They discovered transistors and rock music, but they didn't know anything about prions. Nobody did.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Marzolf's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
She spreads her arms, raincoat flapping in the wind. What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia. The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Wait, you're saying it's been like this for 43 years?
Time flies.
What have we been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Were they?
No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like a cold splash. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. And here we are.
She curtsies.
Welcome to reality, baby.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
Which side was the Wild Pine Group on?
They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not.
They got lucky?
Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom.
You would have sided with the king?
I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. Perhaps it's better I was born when I was. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company.
What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
I don't know what I would have done
Would
differently.
have died, most likely. Not far from here. Maybe even right here, during the beachhead, defending the coast the day the Coalition took the city.
Probably.
No, almost certainly. The Commune would have forced you. Such was the fate of the undecided.
That's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
What is this acute amyelopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
What causes?
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
It's definitely the drinking. Oh, what is figure something very close to you?
6 kilometers southwest, in the Valley of Dogs, Junior Officer Chad Tinker takes aim at a rabid black dog, licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbert answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM.
She says energetically. They're occult citizens militants.
Preciso mundo.
Good. What is a occult citizens militant?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement body of post-revolutionary Revachol, Detective.
You did say de facto?
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called the twilight of international law, both at the behest of the coalition government and to its chagrin.
What do you mean?
The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer and Aliments Acts, 3 pieces of legislation keeping the city in a, let's be honest, laissez-faire stasis to the benefit of foreign capital.
So basically, I'm a lackey of the capital?
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it.
She leans in.
Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. I deal with them daily. Let me tell you, dear, they are not fans of you.
Why?
The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the international zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive you. So permit me to conclude with this. Who you are to me is the police, the only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol.
Thank you, madam.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need help recalling the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
She bows and smiles. What was the RMC
Nothing
again?
more nor less than the Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is the
Let's skip between.
RCM's responsibilities are. There's nothing yet. The post-revolution, they called it so.
Yes, yes.
And if those authorities drink so hard they need
I just
help
want
recalling
to.
the basic terms of reality, well, I'm here to help.
I just wanted to make sure that I'd gone through that. I want to know what you are. She hums. What are you?
I am the vilest of the vile. A
She,
traitor. A devourer of nations and infants.
she says with a sudden flash of teeth.
I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
No, cool. Liberate pretty hard myself.
No, not like me. I am the nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. Are you liberated enough to offer up your home on a plate for financial colonists? No, I think not. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
I forgive you.
I do hope so. I do hope we're able to remain collegial despite it all. Tell me, when you look in the mirror, do you not see a monster staring back at you? When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
Her earrings chime as she
You're
nods.
no dummy yourself.
No, my intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
And the crown on your head as you lay in the casket.
You're a patriot.
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality?
What is this? Spread your hands.
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
I mean, what is this place here?
This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain. 33A. The tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
Well, what is the Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
He looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
From a dear living balcony, a young girl in clothes gives Joyce the evil eye and a red paintbrush held to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat.
Wonderful.
And a sorry motion. Sorry, I cut off early. What is that? Points to Cindy the skull.
The girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. All right. What next?
She pauses to take a long, leisurely sip of tea.
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
I think I may be part of the infraculture.
And what would that be?
Disco.
I can see that, yes. I dabble in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon. All permeating. Downright mandatory. Nothing infra about disco, baby.
Your disco?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
The new?
The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Revachol. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-coloured everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now.
She raises an eyebrow at you. Sounds fun. I can't remember a single thing.
Guillaume Le Million, who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there.
For some reason, your mind is a veritable repository of Guillaume Le Million lyrics, trivia, and B-sides. But the time to explore this is when you're alone, facing a mirror perhaps. Right now, it would derail the reality lowdown.
Okay, let's try this one. We're gonna fail, just so you know. What is reach for something fundamental?
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. It's on the tip of your tongue, a doubt of sorts already in your head, but it's not fully formed yet. You have to wait and return to this later, once the jamais vu thought is complete.
That's all for now. Conclude for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
So many options. Do you know something about these tattoos showing a photo?
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Fine, well let's return to it later.
Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
I think that's it for now. Thank you. That's all for now.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
Ooh. We got some skill points, but I want to check something. I thought so. I'll use skill points to unlock these. That close. Okay. We're going to do that one first. So I think we robbed that. Right, we didn't. That's where we came in from, went upstairs. A marine cloud of light pollution rises from the east. You hear distant traffic noise from the city. It's just all nothing here right now. Some of the growing raspberry, thyme, and a cactus. Okay, I'm going to run you down because I'm quicker. All helps towards rent. Okay, I think that's the door. Door, apartment number 29. Complete silence, whoever lives there isn't home. 30. Voices from singing along some buoyant dance track.
This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives. No one answers. Looks like he isn't home. You should come back tomorrow evening, after 2100.
Okay. Just let me check my bag. Oh, let's clear the. Okay. That's the only thing I haven't inspected is that.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Why am I looking at this wall?
Because this is no ordinary wall. It is sublime. Look at it. The shadows, the colors.
Let the conceptual joy flow into your pupils and blossom into thoughts into your brain.
All the other walls and all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this, the uncontested pinnacle of war crime, color peeled from the very face of God.
More.
Oh, wall father.
Yes, I must paint this wall. Add to it. Get task.
Absolutely. Now you just need the materials. Cindy the Skull has a paintbrush and paint. Talk to her.
Cinder's girl has what I
Yes,
need.
great thinking. Go talk to her. The wall will remain empty.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Is that your bed in the cold room? Yours?
Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
Don't you have a real home?
Does anyone in a city like this?
It's not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to
It
do.
doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
Really, you're a miner?
Yes. I keep hoping the shaft will collapse on me. But somehow, it never happens.
Cool, I have other questions.
Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it?
Cindy, I need some paint and your brush too.
What for?
For art, it's for art, okay?
Well, if it's for art. But what kind of art are we talking about?
To be honest, I haven't really thought of anything, but I'm sure I
Then you
will.
have time to find your own fucking brush.
Cool, no brush then, not a problem.
You're about to cry internally, aren't you, Piggy? Oh, pathetic. Just give up. Art isn't for you.
Attempt to explain your artistic intentions.
They do say the painter always paints his own portrait.
I'm going to paint a self-portrait, but sort of, from the inside, to show people what it's
That's
like.
pretty fucked up. Even for you, Piggo.
Okay, I won't do that. Please just give me some paint and brush. I need to do some
You're
art.
a real sad sack. You know that? Go ahead then. Art it up. Just try not to hurt yourself. And no self-portrait.
Thanks, Cindy.
Oh, but I'm all out of fuel oil.
You know what you should be able to find in your government-issued vehicle? Red-dyed heavy fuel oil.
Right, no way I'm setting a paint if even children are painted with fuel
That
oil.
beautiful room deserves nothing less.
Catch you later, Cindy. So I've got a paintbrush. Find a government marked heavy fuel return to the wall. I have no idea what I'm going to find some of that.
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then use the focus knob to zoom in if necessary. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty? Your money disappears into the coin slot. A clunk, the ring of metal.
Pull the handle, look
The
inside.
curtains on the display open. You lean in to catch the view. It's blurry. Different blues and greens. In the middle of the shimmer stands a drab grey shape, like a ghost.
Turn the knob to focus your vision.
The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible. A half-sunken sea fort. Its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower. A lonely birch tree grows out of it. This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible.
Poor little viewer, pat it.
The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Vandalism, shake your head.
The mute machine is unable to confirm or deny your theory. But yes, it was vandalism.
Look inside.
A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards. That's Kuno on the lens.
Shift your focus to the background.
Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks, an X-shaped cross topping its tower. You know this to be the star of Periconesus, or the Cairo, the central symbol of the Periconesian church, a star, a great moral height to be strived towards. Around the large wooden building you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice.
Leave.
A faint sticker on the side reads, RCM Emergencies Desk number 8102, with a slogan, Mankind, be vigilant.
Good mailbox. Good mail delivery box. Pack the box.
The box seems happy. Eat shit pig, fucked by the queen, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also.
I feel you, mail collection box.
The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shut up, then you swallow.
Nothing back there. Bold slogan who Max covers the truck.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods.
Who is
A
this?
silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the opulent, father of Philip IV, the insane. As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece.
Who is this? I've done that. What indentions? What do I see?
Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is. A bullet? Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
What did this king do?
Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy.
In what way?
Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy during the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy.
How did he?
Insulindian Isola.
Wow. How did he manage to blow through the entire national treasury?
Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. He called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon. instead of a bed like a normal person.
I would like to sleep on gold, hustler style.
But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction.
The what
You
now?
see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. He was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy.
So he was addicted to nose candy, a bloated druggie.
That's what the revolutionaries said 150 years later, right before they emptied out the royal mausoleum and dumped His Majesty's mortal remains in the Insulindian Bay.
Okay, what is nose candy?
Cocaine.
This is a lot to process.
His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms.
Okay, where is he buried now?
Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum.
What happened to the statue?
The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn-of-the-century revolution, when Martinez was leveled. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces.
Who restores the monument?
Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the city. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit.
That's brilliant, so funny and nihilistic.
People in Martinez tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders with more nuanced social awareness than the young ironists. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death. Not that he ever did in life either.
Leave. No ruins full of snow. Oh, I'm just after some fuel. Foreign cargo condition.
A Stars Ryko, one of the finest Zhimsk-made motor carriages ever. An oldie, but a goldie.
Who drives
Not
these?
too many people outside of Grad, and Revachol West too, it appears.
What a beautiful motor carriage. I want to know more.
Glad to share. The value of the motor carriage has been seriously diminished by its color. All Stars Rykos are baby blue by default. The paint would be considered unforgivable to collectors. Zephyr blue was also the color Sigismund the Great used for his banners. Strange. This is really all you know about the Stars Ryko and ancient Zhimsk rulers.
Okay, I'm going to end this here while I look for more paint. As usual, watch this. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you guys again later. Bye.